The sun has just risen over Serengeti National Park, Tanzania, signaling the start of a new day. The African buffalo herd here often sets out at dawn to search for green pastures. Each buffalo is large, muscular with strong curved horns. This herd is especially large, including experienced old buffalo and newly born buffalo. The environment in Serengeti is extremely vast, with vast grasslands and swamps scattered everywhere. Every day, the buffalo herd has the habit of moving from 30 to 40 kilometers to find places with fresh grass. The constant movement makes them less familiar with new terrain. Many young buffaloes experiencing such long journeys for the first time are often easily lost from the herd. For example, just last month, there were several cases where buffalo calves took half a day to find their mothers. This morning, the buffalo herd continued to move towards a large grass field located next to the swamp. The grass here is lush and green after the recent showers. The cool air makes the buffaloes graze enthusiastically without paying much attention to their surroundings. Meanwhile, a large male buffalo separates from the herd and slowly walks out into the swamp to find water to drink. The swamp looks like it is only shallow mud, but in fact it is very dangerous because the mud is deep. The buffalo keeps moving towards the center of the swamp without knowing that it is a deep flooded area. Suddenly, it sinks into a swamp, its legs starting to get stuck in the mud. The buffalo panics and tries to pull its legs out, but the more it struggles, the deeper it sinks. Its cries echo throughout the swamp, but the other buffaloes are still busy grazing, not paying attention. The trapped male buffalo tries to push the mud with its horns and body, hoping to find a stable foothold. However, with each passing minute, it becomes more exhausted and sinks lower. The giant curved horns were now just above the mud. The buffalo roared, hoping that the herd would come back to help or at least notice its distress. But the herd continued to eat grass, not too far away from it. Time passed, the buffalo kept trying to get up but to no avail. It writhed, splashing mud, but could not escape. After about an hour of struggling, it had used up a lot of energy. The buffalo was panting, tired, but still not giving up. It tried to stop for a moment, to gather its strength and hope that someone would see it. The herd continued to move slowly around the grassland, with the leader occasionally looking up to observe. A few curious young buffaloes stood watching from afar, but then they returned to grazing. After another 2 hours, the male buffalo was exhausted, gradually losing almost all its strength to struggle. It lay flat on the muddy ground, groaning softly. At this point, it seemed to have accepted its fate. Its big round eyes looked around, hoping for some miracle to happen. Luckily, this grassland was quite close to the conservation center of the Serengeti National Park, Tanzania. Every day, rangers regularly patrolled this area. Bakery, a longtime employee, was driving back to the center after a morning inspection. He stopped on the road and accidentally saw the black horn sticking out in the middle of the swamp. Thanks to his experience, Bakery immediately realized that it was a buffalo in danger. He quickly contacted his teammates via walkie-talkie, reporting the emergency situation. The news quickly reached Kato, a ranger in charge of the swamp. Kato immediately recruited 2 colleagues named Zara and Daniel to join the rescue. In just a few minutes, the 4 employees were fully assembled and started preparing equipment. They drove the truck carrying the tools, rushing towards the swamp. When they arrived, the group saw that the buffalo was almost motionless, only breathing very weakly. Bakery and Zara carefully stepped into the mud, trying to get closer to check the safety level. They realized that the mud here was very soft, and could sink deeper at any time. Daniel and Kato stood on the bank, observing and discussing how to pull the buffalo. First, they tried to coordinate using ropes tied around the buffalo's body, hoping to make it step on the mud itself. However, the buffalo was exhausted and almost unable to cooperate. Everyone was worried that if they continued to pull with human power, there was a risk of hurting the buffalo or suffocating in the mud. Finally, Kato suggested calling a crane from the center to lift the buffalo safely. Zara quickly contacted the center via walkie-talkie, requesting support. While waiting, Bakery and Daniel gently wiped the mud around the buffalo's eyes and nose to help it breathe easier. The buffalo groaned softly, as if sensing someone coming to help. More than 30 minutes later, a loud engine noise sounded, and the crane gradually appeared. The crane driver skillfully moved the vehicle close to the swamp, avoiding sinking into the mud. Kato and Zara together tied a cable around the buffalo's body, threading it under its belly to evenly distribute the force. Carefully, they signaled the driver to start lifting the buffalo. The buffalo was gradually pulled out of the mud, black water flowing down. The crane carefully lowered the buffalo onto the bank a few meters away from the swamp. As soon as the buffalo touched the hard ground, the group ran over to check on its condition. Bakery placed his hand on the buffalo's belly, feeling its weak but steady breathing. Zara immediately prepared water to wash away the thick layer of mud on the buffalo's back. Daniel brought a large bucket of water, slowly pouring it over the buffalo's body to clean it and help cool it down. Kato used a towel to wipe away the thick mud, especially around its head and eyes. After the mud was washed away, the buffalo began to stir. Looking at its sluggish eyes, everyone guessed that it needed urgent medical attention. At that moment, a veterinary medical staff from the center drove over to help. He brought a syringe and health-enhancing medicine, quickly giving the buffalo a booster shot. The injection helped the buffalo gradually regain strength and warmth. The buffalo opened its eyes wider, looking around as if trying to understand what had just happened. Zara gently patted its neck to calm it down, while Daniel checked to see if its legs were injured. Fortunately, apart from exhaustion and minor scratches, the buffalo had no broken bones or serious injuries. The four staff were happy that the rescue effort had gone well. The buffalo slowly pushed itself up on its two front legs, then stood up heavily. The group carefully backed away, giving it space and not panicking. The buffalo shook itself, splashing mud one last time, then began to walk slowly. It walked away from the edge of the swamp, turned its head to look at the staff, as if to express gratitude. Not far away, the herd of buffalo was still leisurely grazing, seemingly unaware of what was happening. The buffalo separated from the rescue group, gradually moving towards the herd. Bakery, Kato, Zara and Daniel watched, their hearts filled with happiness. Soon, the buffalo joined the herd as if it had never left. It started to graze, occasionally turning its head to look back at the mud that had almost taken its life. The four staff stayed to watch a little longer, making sure the buffalo was stable. When they saw the herd had integrated normally, they decided to pack up their belongings. The crane left, leaving behind a deep depression full of muddy tracks. Bakery drove the group back to the center. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. They knew that every life in the Serengeti was precious and worthy of protection. The rescue was a success, leaving behind a beautiful memory of humanity and kindness in the wild nature of Serengeti National Park, Tanzania. Dear friend, thank you for taking the time to follow the story. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support us.